Hello, and welcome to our webinar this afternoon, this morning, depending on where you are. Just going to pull out my notes. My name is Toby Keeping. I'd like to welcome you to the session today, where we're going to speak a little bit about the unpopular truth about timekeeping software. So what we're going to look at this morning, this afternoon, again, depending on where you are, what we're going to do is take you through a couple of different points that hopefully will add some value to your experience. Our goal is to keep this to 30 minutes or less. I know you're very busy, so I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to take a look at what we have to say to you. I do invite you, of course, if you have any questions throughout the session, by all means, please use the questions utility in the GoToWebinar function, and we'll gladly try and answer them at the end of the presentation. So here is our session. So running a janitorial business, as you're fully aware, is complex and wrought with challenges, and any given day can make you feel like you're on top of the world. Customers are happy with the services you're providing. You've won a new contract. Your team are performing well. Everything is going great. And unfortunately, the very next day can make you feel like that was a distant memory lost in the annals of time forever, never to be experienced again. The peaks and valleys that we experience as janitorial business owners are profound and challenging. Oftentimes, you're still the guy or woman on call to fill in when someone doesn't show up. So the moments of glory are quickly tempered by those moments of panic and stress. And so there are a lot of things poised to challenge your day and a lot of different things that you need to be focused on. So what we're going to do is show you routinely the things that you're going to be focused in on. I would argue that most of you will agree with these. And our kind of measurement by which we're going to look at today's session is to compare where those key areas of focus are and whether or not timekeeping offers any value to them. So each day, entrepreneurial janitorial owners like yourselves have to struggle to keep at least 6 balls high in the air. And within these 6 areas, you not only have to focus effort, but you also have to continuously seek insights from these areas so that you can continue to evolve and improve both your efficiency as a company, as well as help to develop and nurture your team. So again, we're going to review these 6 areas and compare where timekeeping software adds value and where it does not. So the first of which is customer attraction. You obviously spend time making sure that your company can be found, investing in a website, marketing initiatives, whatever it may be, networking events, whatever it is that you do to make sure that customers have your name top of mind at a time when they need to acquire about services is a huge part of the game. If they can't find you, it's up to you to find them, which of course is a very laborious, very costly customer acquisition strategy. So having a method by which people are finding you is absolutely vital. Of course, from there is conversion. You need to convert the people who are inquiring about your services and get them to be paying customers. And your sales prowess obviously has a lot to do with that, whether you are the only person on your team doing it or whether you have a dedicated sales team. This is something that you have to focus in on and constantly watch your numbers for any spikes or valleys that lend itself to greater trends. If there are spikes in your sales process, you want to try and replicate those. And if there are dips, you want to try and figure out what it was that caused that to prevent it from happening in the future. Another area where you probably spend a lot of time is on your customer retention. The quality of work that you deliver for your customers is the paramount item that will prevent your customer from seeking quotes and services from your competitors. So that is another area where you obviously spend a lot of time making sure that the quality of work doesn't degrade over the 6, 8, 10 months from the original contract being written. And this is the one that causes most of us the biggest challenge. When we were a cleaning company, this was the place that we found was the most stressful, for the reason that in your working in your operations, when you are dealing with questions from customers, issues that arise, cleaners who do not show up, it is managing the operations that allows us, or kind of doesn't allow us, it requires us to focus on the business rather than focusing, or focus in the business rather than focusing on it. So when you're working in your business, you're down in the weeds with the cleaners, doing the things that are helping put out fires. When you're working on your business, you're thinking strategically about what it is that can get your business to the next level. What are the next 10 customers going to look like? How do we get to the next 20? And so on. So this is the place where you're hiring people, your managers, systems and processes that would increase the efficiency and effectiveness of your teams universally. Another key area, of course, is the one that we all like, when our receivables are greater than our payables, and certainly making sure that our teams are paid for the work that they do. And of course, mentioning teams is indicative of the hiring and retention efforts that are very, very challenging in the industry. The process of bringing in good cleaners and retaining them is a huge challenge. We've learned through working with the BSCAI and Director of Operations for a national franchise that the number that they peg on losing a cleaner is just shy of $2,000 US for each cleaner who leaves your business. So hiring and retention are very key elements. So to stand back, from the 10,000-foot view here, these are the 6 buckets by which, when we were a cleaning company, we focused our efforts. These are the places that drive the biggest value and biggest strategic elements to your success. So again, our objective today is take a look at where these things line up as it relates to timekeeping software. But before we do, it's worth acknowledging that there are silver bullets that do exist. However, in the world of business, as many of you are aware, there isn't one that you can shoot down the hallway to make your company successful magically. In the same way that there isn't a product that will work well on ceramic floors and windows, in much the same capacity, technologies that are aimed at your company, whatever function they serve, it is unlikely that they're going to be universally used across your entire company to do everything. So with that in mind, we want to just take you through a little on the history of timekeeping. And believe me, I'm not going to go through the full historical element of it here, but I really just want to highlight that this is a technology that's been around for 120 years. And because of that longevity and its utilization across many industries, including our own, it has become ubiquitous. Everybody does it. It is the gold standard, at least in terms of what most business owners believe they have to have. And certainly in our industry, it is an absolute have to have. If you don't have a timekeeping system, you're relying on honor from your cleaners to tell you how much they're to be paid. So it provides accountability, and it gives you an opportunity to generate payroll data as a result of that. So with that said, where does timekeeping software fit if we look at the 6 areas of focus where you as a janitorial owner are focused each and every day on helping your company get to that next stage? How beneficial is timekeeping software? We would argue that it offers no value in the ability to attract customers. Again, it's been around for 120 years. It's useful, but it's not going to make someone pick up the phone and call your organization, because my assumption is that everyone has a timekeeping system. And in the same capacity, it does nothing to close the customer either. Everyone does this. It's not a unique feature. It doesn't distinguish you from Johnny Appleseed down the street who also has a quote in for the service you're trying to win. And on the far right-hand side, it does very little on the hiring and retention front. It doesn't offer cleaners anything more than what they expect, which is to be paid for the hours that they work. So it doesn't really do anything there for you. That said, it does add value in 3 of the 6 core areas. Client retention, being able to go to your customer and show the client how well you're doing, the amount of hours that you're working versus what was contractually agreed to, proving that you're spending time on site, are certainly valuable elements. The operations, being able to collect that data significantly faster than punch clocks, and or I've seen customers actually collect timesheets, drive around the city to collect them on paper. So there's certainly efficiencies to be gained by using the software there. And in the finance world, of course, that is what it's poised to do. The entirety of the software is to generate payroll and potentially help with invoicing your customers. So there is absolutely a synergy here that timekeeping software does add value across your business, just not across all aspects of it. And as you're looking to grow, not only do you want a system or a series of systems to assist with each of these areas, you're looking for systems that can help gain insights. If you're not understanding why no one's calling you, you don't understand your marketing well enough. If you don't understand why you're not closing more than X% of the proposals you put out, you don't understand where you're failing in your sales. If you don't understand what your retention rate is on your employees, how can you ever hope to improve it? So each of the areas that, again, we get challenged with, I would argue the operations is the one where most of us, and I use us because we used to be a cleaning company. I've said that before, so I often invoke ourselves into the scenario that you're in. That was the place that was our biggest challenge. We got continually, pulled into the operations rather than focusing on these 6 areas. So just highlight, I really want you to be mindful going forward from today that these 6 areas are vital to you in your business. So the 2 challenges that arise based on these elements, that timekeeping software kind of start to lose their luster, is that based on the previous slide, timekeeping alone really only touches on 50% of the core areas that you focus on to grow your company. It's not going to help you with client acquisition or retention of cleaners. It does offer some value, but again, if you're looking for, as we all are, that silver bullet, which is the elusive unicorn, of course, we do want to try and find ways that perhaps we can get above this in 60, 70, 80%. The other one that is worth noting is that software is changing, and I think we all feel this every day. No longer is software being created for users in the office. No longer is it poised to work on a desktop computer. Most, if not all, technologies are being deployed with the purpose of being used in the field remotely by everybody. And so a lot of timekeeping systems, software specifically, are allowing cleaners to remotely check in through a clock system or calling in. Some do it through a mobile phone, but the intent of the software at the back end of the office is to reduce the amount of time for payroll. And so what we would argue is that with this shift happening, where people are becoming more mobile, it's obvious everyone here, I would hazard to guess, has their own smartphone not very far. In fact, you've probably checked it 4 times since the webinar started here, is that the unpopular truth regarding timekeeping software is that if you are using the mobile devices of your team only to do timekeeping, if that's the only function that you're getting your team to do through their smartphone device, you're effectively buying a car to listen to the stereo. You've got significantly more capability in your hands, literally in the hands of your team, than you're making use of. And so what we would contest is that you have an opportunity to get more from your team to provide better value to your clients, to cover off more of those 6 key areas if given the right opportunity to do so. And so I do want to share with you a little bit about what we do. I also want to be mindful that we do have tools that are free. We do have mentions through our blog of utilities that help you if you choose not to use Swept. There are tools that you can absolutely look to. Slack, we're going to talk about a couple of them here in a moment. But we are going to take a couple of minutes just to show you a couple of things as to what Swept can do specifically to help you with the 6 areas of your core focus. So first off is that Swept is focused on helping your cleaners be successful. The goal of the utility, if you will, is to ensure that your cleaners are successful at accounts that maybe they've never even walked into before. Every cleaner on your team should feel like when they go into a building, whether it's the first time or the 100th, that they can be successful on your behalf, because in doing so, they are going to be successful for your customer, they're going to reduce the management effort for you and your team, and they're going to allow you better opportunity to retain those cleaners. We believe the communication is significantly more impactful than compliance. Simply measuring, was a cleaner able to do something, is great. Did it get done? Absolutely. And I'm not saying accountability should not be part of your organization. It absolutely should. But we believe that communication allows that to happen, but also allows for a two-way dialogue to occur such that you're not the only person sharing information. Your team are sharing information with you. And when that happens, you're able to collect insights and feedback about your customer locations that allow you the opportunity to be the one telling your customer about problems, not the other way around. And we believe that cleaners can add value beyond the tasks of cleaning. Every cleaner's job, of course, is to make sure that the properties you've got contracts with look impeccable when they leave. We believe that if treated fairly, paid equitably, and treated with respect, your cleaners will, and we had it happen to us, they will offer insights to you about your customer locations that can help you be a proactive janitorial service. And if you're able to do that and reduce the amount of headaches among your team and issues proactively, you're going to be able to spend more time in those 6 areas of focus rather than just the operations silo. So again, there's a lot of different options available to you that do timekeeping. There's communication tools like text messaging, emails, whatever it may be. There are instruction tools, instruction tools. You can use paper. Slack would be an example of different tools you could use. Inspection tools are out there, whether it's Google Forms or single source utilities that just do inspections, and the ability to communicate with your customers. There is a myriad of options for you. And again, on our website, on our blog, and I'll share the link with you here in a few minutes, there's a lot of different references that we provide there to different utilities. So feel free to take a look at those when we share that with you. But I would propose, obviously, we built our technology, having been a cleaning company, having built it for our own needs to do all of these things. Again, I wouldn't say we are a silver bullet, but we believe that we are indeed a very fast-moving bullet. So, with that said, where does SWEPT fit into those 6 areas? How would a company using SWEPT benefit? If I can get this, there we go. So my mouse clicks are a little behind. So on the client attraction side, SWEPT gives our clients, we give our customers marketing resources. The utility that they then rely on allows the client to see that you do something different. So SWEPT allows for companies to, well, we give them free marketing collateral, quite frankly. YouTube videos, one-page marketing brochures of how they're different. Secondly is on the client acquisition side. The biggest thing that happens when you close a contract is one thing, that the customer believes. All the other janitorial companies may be really good. All the janitorial companies that are competing for that work may say they've got the best team, they focus on quality, they don't cut corners, they clean them. At the end of the day, when you win a contract, through some means, you have made the customer believe your story. And no one thing is more powerful in creating and getting someone to believe a story than proof. You probably have case studies on your website, customer testimonials. Our customers use a mobile application, and I'm going to show you how we do it. They go into their customers and actually give them a tactile experience that lets the client see immediately in seconds how the systems and processes that they utilize are different and beneficial to that client. On the retention side, of course, the validation of hours, as we talked about a few minutes ago, that is a key benefit of timekeeping software. So I'm not going to deflect it and say that that's not part of what we do. It absolutely is. But so too are the communications amongst your team and the customer. The ability for clients to be able to stay in constant contact with you and let you know about issues and vice versa allows for a better, stronger relationship with your customers. I would argue that probably 9 out of 10 contracts that you have won have been because the other customer or the customer wasn't satisfied with the other company to the point that they probably didn't even talk to that company prior to reaching out to you. I would guess that a lot of you, sadly, on the phone have lost a contract, and when you find out about it, they've already contractually agreed to something with another contractor. So that communication with your customers is very challenging to stay up on. In the operations side of the house, of course, more efficiency like we talked about a few minutes ago with timekeeping. However, the ability to give your cleaners instructions through a mobile application allows a cleaner to walk into a building they've never been in before and be successful. For the cleaner to then be able to communicate back to you problems that they encounter, that allows you to be proactive in reaching out to the customer. And then ongoing communications amongst your team allows them to really feel like they're contributing to the operations and benefiting that client. Finance, the same benefits as we alluded to on the timekeeping side, of course, is that it helps with payroll and potentially invoicing. And last and not least is that the hiring and retention component with what Swept offers, there is a free hiring tool that we do give to you. There's a hiring guide that we provide to our customers as well, along with a free piece of technology called cleaningjobs.co. So I'll say that again for those who are writing, cleaningjobs.co. If you're able to have a team of cleaners who are successful at the customer locations, who are doing good work because they understand what's expected of them. Again, the outcomes of that are that you're going to have customers that are happier, less attrition, which is perfect. Number two is that you're going to spend less time managing your staff and more time working on these 6 key areas, not just in the operations side. And lastly, is that the engagements that you do have with your staff will be more positive. It's not going to be always yelling at your cleaners, telling them they did a poor job here or things they need to fix. You're going to have more opportunity to offer them praise and thanks for the work that they do. And that, in combination with the cleaners feeling like they're doing the right things, is going to provide you a better opportunity to retain your best employees. So I am going to take not more than 4 or 5 minutes because I want to put my money where my mouth is and show you a couple of features with the Swept platform that highlights all of these different things. Of course, it's going to ask me for my password. Hang on. So on the left-hand side of the page, this is what we have as our mobile application for your cleaners. So ignore the distraction on the right-hand side because I want to be brief and to the point. As a cleaner, I get my schedule. So again, timekeeping functionality here, we can see what my schedule is. I can also see my timesheets, where the cleaners can see what they're to be paid for and what's been approved. So again, timekeeping functionality here. But as a cleaner, I want more than that. And frankly, you as a company should want more than that. So as a cleaner, I can go to locations. I'm going to go to the library where I can sign in. So again, timekeeping functionality here, GPS enabled. So this is a message that will go out to the supervisor if a cleaner is late for a shift or if he signs in or out. That's timekeeping, in and out. That's it. What we want to give you the opportunity now to do is to gather a little bit more detail. So security, let's assume I'm a cleaner and I'm going into a building for the very first time because Steve called in sick. I hit security and I get, with a 4-digit access code, details around how to get into the building, how to lock up when I'm done, where are the keys to the CEO's office, what have you. I also have at the bottom the ability to see the instructions of what's required of me when I get to this location. It's translated into my language of choice, inclusive of any images that may want to be in there as well. So the clarity here is this is obviously an operations utility, but I would argue if you were to go into your customer and say, Adele, appreciate you taking some time to look at what we do or to invite me into your office. This looks like the kind of work we do, and I'm sure we can be successful for you. But frankly, I know the other 3 people you've talked with are going to tell you the same thing. In fact, my guess is the people you're about to fire said they could do this work as well. Here's how I want to prove to you, Adele, that our company is different. Can you take my phone? Here's your location. I set you up in our software half an hour ago before I showed up. All the details that we're talking about now, Adele, are going to be in the instructions. So this is you handing this to the customer. They can see the instructions that you're working on with them right there and then are going to be baked into the product. And this, Adele, going back to the conversation with the client, this, Adele, is how I ensure that my team and the quality that we tell you we're going to deliver on, that this does not degrade in the next 3 to 6 months. All of their cleaners get this every time they show up at a building. And when they show up, they can order supplies when they run out. And they can ask questions. They can use that message board to attach photos. This is a message board amongst all of my cleaners, Adele. This is how we communicate with each other. This is how we stay on top of problems. And lastly, Adele, when my cleaners go to log out of a shift, they're presented with, unlike most timekeeping products, they can report a problem, and what will happen there is, and I'll show you, or they could just sign out. If they sign out, once a week, the software is going to ask if your cleaner is happy with their job. And if they report a problem, they get to report that as an issue that becomes a primary alert for you first thing in the morning, again, with the GPS signing out here. So again, I promised to stay pretty close to the 30-minute mark. So what I'm going to do is get right to the bottom of the slide deck here to talk through a couple of final points before we leave. So a couple of good ideas that I'll leave you with, and I like to think they're good ideas, is certainly everyone on the call, as an appreciation for your time and interest, will receive our retention guide. So look for an email from us here in the next little bit where we will be sending you a retention guide. Hopefully it adds some value to your retention efforts, because we know exactly how costly that initiative can be if it is not done well. I did allude to having different free resources available on our blog, and it can be found at sweptworks.com. Therein, on the free resources at the top, you can download a bunch of articles. There's sorted by marketing, sales, retention, hiring, operations, a bunch of the key areas that we've identified today. If you are at all inquisitive of the mobile application that I showed you for the cleaners, as well as what the managers and supervisors have, we do offer free accounts. You can sign up, no credit card required, and use the software for up to 3 locations. So a location are facilities that you clean. If you choose to upgrade, obviously our packages are listed on our website that are fair, from $50 to $70 a month to start. And I will note that we do have an offer here. If you are inquisitive, certainly reach out to us through our website. Now, I will take a couple of questions, see if we have any here. English and Spanish is from John. John, the application utilizes Google Translate, so it will work with over 100 languages, not just English and Spanish. Your cleaners, supervisors, managers, and customers, when using the mobile app, can select their language of choice, and it is using Google Translate. Looking at any other questions in here. You said communications are greater than compliance. Can you elaborate a bit? Yeah, so high point here is that communication is, so in the industry over the last couple of years of talking to hundreds of business owners, the longevity or the checklists that are being created are almost cumbersome now. People are trying to get cleaners to measure every little thing. And what's happening is those lists are becoming preventative in terms of their length. It's preventing cleaners from offering any relative insights. They're just focused on a sheet of paper and checking things off. They're not focused on the overall quality of what's happening within your account. So communication, certainly we believe, is the enabler for setting a standard of what's expected, but also helping the cleaners share information backwards to you that allows you to do more than just mark check boxes on whether things were done or weren't. And that, we believe, has a stronger impact on quality and retention of your customers and cleaners than just compliance alone. Does your timekeeping data export? Yes, it does. So the timekeeping data that we collect can be exported into PDFs organized by cleaner or location, all of it summarized with numerical data of how much time based on cleaner or location. We also give you the opportunity, if you want, you can export it out as an Excel format, and from there you can organize it to do whatever else you want to do. So ladies and gentlemen, I am at the 29-minute mark of what I had promised or hoped to be a 30-minute presentation. So I appreciate your time. You will receive an email momentarily this afternoon with that retention guide. We are appreciative of your time, and we certainly look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Tom, I see you just wrote, is there an inspection form ADP compatible? Okay, so we're getting some questions coming in. John, it is not integrated with ADP. We do provide an export. We do have an integration with QuickBooks Online, but not ADP. We do give you the raw data by which you can hopefully get that imported into ADP. Tom, you asked, is there an inspection form? Yes, there is. You can create as many inspection forms as you want in SWEPT, and your managers will be able to create inspections and do them through their mobile device as well. So by all means, feel free to reach out to us. If you want to see a product demo, you can request one on the website. If you want to get in and try it, there is a free account there for you as well. So in the interest of time, certainly I will take any other questions. If you have them, write them here. Give you another minute here. Is there anyone else with a question? Going once, going twice, and gone. So we're at 2:30, exactly 30 minutes. Thank you again for your time. We look forward to speaking with you in the future. We hope you've taken something from today's session. Have a wonderful day, guys. All the best.